Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com. Today I'm here with my friend Zorina and owner of Heal and Learn, uh, who is going to talk today about mind control. Hello, Zori.
Hi, Lada. How are you?
Great. You've chosen a very interesting, controversial topic, I would say, topic that I love. And it sounds fascinating for me to learn what you have to share with us.
Yeah, I'd rather not call it mind control because this borders with conspiracy, and I don't want to alienate the people that are against this, but I'd rather call it mind control. It's a bit more neutral and it's actually
Mind,
more
mind,
exact.
you mean mind programming?
Oh, I'm sorry, did I say mind control? See, I'm already programming myself. This is exactly how mind programming works, by the way. One of the ways to program people is to use intonation, to use repetition. So the frequency in which people hear a message plus an emotion that is attached to the frequency, not energetic frequency, but the frequency in time. So if you hear something every day, it's like affirmations. If you hear something every day, a few times a day, and if it's attached to a very strong emotion,
Oh, it's like the ads.
such as
Save your,
fear.
save your grandmother. Get the job 100 times per day. Okay. Sorry, I'm making a joke, but exactly what is happening currently. That's what media always uses, and that's what advertisement always uses, isn't it? I even was speaking with an advertiser, and she said you have to be making uh, posts where you pay on Facebook that people to see your post 7 times. And I said 7 times. At first, I never make paid Facebook posts. I believe in organic advertisement. I just don't like to do that. But she said, yes, after they see something 7 times, people are more willing to buy it or to trust it. And I guess that's the same repetition with an image.
Even 8 times I've heard. In marketing, they teach you 8 times people need to see an ad before they remember it. And this still doesn't mean that they take action. This only lets them remember it. So repetition alone won't help though, or at least not a lot. It has to be combined with a very strong emotion. It has uh, to dig out people's emotions, and the emotions that work the best, that engage people the most, are the feeling of fear, the fear and messages of sex.
Oh, wow. That's
Scorpionic, magnetic messages.
fear and sex, Scorpio. So that explains
Yes.
90% of media and TV nowadays, basically, what they're doing. They're
Yes.
mind controlling, mind programming us. Well, isn't it when a person
Like,
becomes aware of those things, doesn't it stop working or no?
most probably, yes. I mean, the thing is, you remember things a lot when you're being bombarded with these subliminal messages, but you're not. It's not pushing you to take an action. So it cannot. Studies actually show that you need to be in a certain condition in order to take action. So, for example, if I'm thirsty and I get an ad by Coke, I'm likely to buy Coke. But if I'm not thirsty, I won't buy Coke. So these subliminal messages change your belief system in a way, but they won't push you to action unless you're in the right circumstance. So let's take as an example a controversial topic of, I'm not even sure if I should say it on your channel, but the current medications that they offer to everyone, right? So it is a very good marketing program because the frequency, the repetition in which they tell people to use it is perfect. Every hour you can hear news about, how many people have been blah 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 every hour. Then there's the element of fear that convinces you. It works on your subconscious mind. And then when the right circumstance appears, so now is your turn, you know, you receive a letter, come join to the hall where you can receive your medication. Then maybe you're triggered to take action.
Or especially if you're in a state of fear yourself, maybe a neighbor of yours got sick and says, I'm in hospital. And you're like, okay. And so if the message was, when it was programmed through fear, you need, in order for you to act on it, you have to also be in the state of fear. You're saying in a receptive state. Okay. Well, why aren't they using sex for that? Get the jab. Or the fear is enough in this case.
Because it's a primal desire, you know. They say, psychologists say, it's the primal need. So the biggest fear people have is the fear of death. And another primal desire is the desire to continue life. So back in the 50s, I think in 48, the beginning of mass television, subliminal messaging was studied, and there's a book that I've read very carefully by Eldon Taylor called Mind Programming, and they show you screenshots, pictures of specific shapes and subliminal messages that they use integrated in the picture. For example, they would use the hair of a woman in profile looking like this, as if to elongate her nose and make horns and stuff like that. Because on a subliminal level, this scares you, right? This is one of the Marlboro cigarette ads that was posted back in the 50s, in the 60s. There are many examples like that. Yeah.
Why would they want to scare you for Marlboro? Wouldn't they want you to crave it more?
No, not really, not at all. So all the cigarettes, the cigarette regulations that required cigarette companies to put very scary images of diseased people and all kinds of decaying internal organs and teeth and everything. This actually didn't scare people off, but the fear made people smoke more.
It's true, yeah, because especially they even say when you're trying to stop any kind of bad habit, and if you're doing it out of fear because maybe a friend of yours died or got sick, is the opposite. You're gonna smoke more, you're gonna drink more, you're gonna take more drugs.
Yeah. Wow. Tell people how dangerous it is, and it just makes it more attractive.
Wow.
Yeah. But I guess it's not applicable across the line, you know, for everything. But in these cases, for products, for consumer products, it is. Yeah, and I'm sure you know of all the products that have been sexualized, like cars and beds and houses. Everything that has a beautiful woman half naked laying on the somewhere around is attractive. Absolutely. To buy.
Yeah. My husband remembered one Bulgarian company only while we were in Bulgaria, because while we were driving every day to the beach, there was a big billboard of a pretty naked woman. And he knows the name of the company that is for air conditioning now. Because that's one thing he remembered. Is this naked woman that's advertising air conditioning. And he remembers it clearly. So it's obviously definitely sex and fear is what programs the mind the most. But how can this be used in a positive way?
It can't be used in a positive way. You can use the methodology of the frequency and the emotions, but then an opposite emotion, the emotion of happiness, of joy. It's basically what I'm teaching people in the method that I advertise on your channel, the Heal and Learn method, and now the course that is upcoming, the Intuition Reset 21. It's basically to go in alpha, which is the state of receptivity, which jumps over the requirement for you to do it frequently, so over and over and over again. It goes straight into your subconsciousness.
You don't repeat all the time. You enter into
exactly.
Alpha, you don't need to do all the affirmations all the time.
Exactly. And so you use exactly the same principle of subliminal messaging. The messaging you're giving yourself is also with pictures. You can also use words, but the mind perceives mostly pictures, images, and then you infuse it with a feeling. So this is how you program yourself, or you can reprogram yourself. You can change the picture that has given you a bad experience, a bad trauma, physical ailment, anything like that. You can reprogram, because it's all stemming from the emotional level.
And that's what you're teaching now in your workshop for Intuition Reset plus Intuition.
This one is going to be mostly about creating synchronicity. So programming certain events in your life and communicating with your guides. So getting guidance on the right answers to your questions and solutions to your problems. Also working with dream time. So it's not the full scope of what I'm teaching. It's just this part of it. Mm-hmm. But it still uses the principle of mind programming. And I don't know if I told you about I told you about the 25th frame.
Oh, no.
That is not perceived. No, I didn't tell you. So that's another very interesting aspect of mind programming. That uses subliminal images, so something that you don't see. So when you watch TV, when you watch videos, you only see 24 frames of a video, but you don't see the 25th frame. But your mind still, your eyes don't see it, but your mind perceives it. So anything can be flashed at you. Every second on the 25th frame, something, a message, an image can be flashed at you, and your mind will perceive it. And this has been used. This is, by the way, has been forbidden in 1978, so not so long ago in the US. And is theoretically forbidden, although it has been discovered to have been used in one of the elections in 2000, such as, you can check in Wikipedia, use of subliminal messages in US elections. And you will see that I believe at the time of the election of Al Gore, it was used once in their campaign. And it has been forbidden, the use of subliminal messages in advertisement and in media in general in the UK, in Australia, and in Europe. There is no regulation that forbids it per se. They say it's investigated on case-per-case basis. So this means that in Europe, people can be subjected to such subliminal messages all the time, be it for political purposes, for advertising purposes, and only if somebody complains, then they'll be investigated.
Well, don't watch TV. Don't watch TV.
Yeah, I mean, you're not protected anywhere, because I don't know if this law applies to Hollywood movies. You can, if you watch movies, you can still be framed with a 25th frame. Can still be
knowing basically
flashed.
Most companies would use that to advertise their products. I remember that Coca-Cola or something was doing that in the 70s. That's selfish.
Coca-Cola, Disney, almost all big companies have used it before it was forbidden.
But it means that it's such thing can be used. Maybe they've probably done it. They're doing it in mind control experiments and so on. But I wonder, can it be used in a positive way? For example, to mind control yourself with the 25th, or mind program yourself with the 25th.
I guess if you're good technologically, you could make yourself a mind movie and then put the 25th frame, but it's much easier to actually go in alpha and project the movie in your mind screen and program yourself in this way.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And sorry.
I just wanted to share another technique for mind programming that I'm not applying, but that has been used on you, just for you to know it and to pay attention. It's called backmasking, and it's the reverse speech, reverse words, and it's very often used in songs. I don't know if there are any laws forbidding backmasking per se as a subliminal message. You can check it on Wikipedia as well. This is not a made-up conspiracy theory. It exists. It has been detected in songs of Pink Floyd, of Led Zeppelin, and of Michael Jackson. I'm sure some of you have heard.
Iron Maiden, yeah.
Iron Maiden as well, yeah.
And what are
Lots
they
of them.
coming you with? What do they want from you, those ones? Was it demonic messages, or was it like buy our album more? Or maybe it was just an experiment to see how it affects the public?
I have no clue actually what messages they give. I know the ones of Michael Jackson were quite horrific, but I know that the subliminal message of the campaign of Al Gore was actually quite innocent and it didn't make any sense. But the thing is, it doesn't make sense for your conscious mind, but once it's triggered by something else, by association in your mind, it will mean something to your subconsciousness. You know, it's all about trigger words and association. For example, if you associate, I don't know, cat with pet food, just giving a stupid example, I have no clue, but and if they blasted you the message backwards with backmasking cat food written the other way around, you would rush to your cat or something like that. Stupid example, but this is how it works.
Wow.
By association. Yeah.
Those people, they're amazing. Obviously, psychologists have discovered that, and these are top level.
Oh yeah.
And that in control, they're using that. They're using it on a, maybe not all the time backmasking, but they're using other type of subliminal messages. I've even watched how it was incredible how one guy was taken for a cab ride and taken through specific places. And when the cab ride finished, and there were different billboards that were passing by him, different things on the radio that he heard for 10-minute cab ride. And then he arrives in the studio and he's given a newspaper from today's newspaper. And they say, choose any word you want from this newspaper. You know, and he looks, and he chooses one word. And the guy that is in the studio writes the word up and says, this is actually the word was written already before the guy chose it. And he says, we knew you were going to use that word. And they said, how did you do that? And they said, because you pass through specific areas that we put messages there on billboards, the radio that played, that all led to this word somehow by association. That it was a simple word. I think it was like, I don't know, some kind of a noun or whatever. And that would be in many places in the newspaper. But this person chose that specific word because of this subliminal messages. So if they can do that, I mean, what else are they programming in our mind? It's a bit scary.
Basically a lot. You have to be very careful in what you're and observe your surroundings very well and look for meaning. I mean, I'm not telling you now you have to go crazy and panic about everything that is happening, but also question your motives when you're driven to do something. Why do you want a certain thing? What drives you to want to take action? I think that's the most that's the safest way to not go crazy but still be conscious about your actions and your thoughts.
We have to be very vigilant. They say people that become initiates, so on the path of spiritual awakening, it's not at all you being in a bliss in some meditative state. It's actually the opposite. It's being way more alert and guarding every thought that comes into your mind and questioning, is this something I really want? Is this my thought? Is this right morally or no? And these are the first steps that many of us have not even started walking on, but all humanities will have to go through on the path of spiritual awakening. It's not you suddenly starting to see angels and and so on. This starts with guarding what comes inside your mind. And I guess a very great way to counteract that is exactly what you teach with the programming your own mind the way that you want by putting it in alpha state. Isn't alpha state also when we watch TV that we enter into alpha state naturally?
Yes, that's the most dangerous part, that when you watch TV you become like a zombie and you're half asleep, you're not very active. So your mind is very permeable for all these messages, susceptible. So it's even more dangerous. Watching TV is actually, you're an open book then. They can just print anything on you.
Oh my God. I've been letting
Yeah.
kids watch so much TV.
Yeah. And as to the marketing or the messages, this study that you just quoted, that you just told about, where people were programmed to say a certain word from the newspaper, I can tell you that this is actually a marketing strategy taught in graduate school. I have learned this about 10 years ago on, how to, I can't even remember what it was called, but it's like a marketing path that your target customer takes, even when they're walking outside, and where you need to place certain advertisements in order to influence them. So you follow the path of your customer and you place triggers.
That's evil. But
It's evil, but it exists. And what I mean is that don't think that it's only a study. It exists in real life.
I guess we're mature enough to start realizing that, where if God is allowing it to exist in our reality, we have grown enough to be able to figure those things out and to learn how to protect ourselves from them and how to counteract their influence. Because the more grown up you become, spiritually speaking, the more difficult the tests are. Don't think that actually when we're more spiritually developed, life will be easy. Actually, too, it's gonna get more and more challenging tests, and it will be more interesting, I guess, for sure. But it's what we have. It kind of sounds like a like a spiritual war or like a psychological war. That is the biggest challenge there. Wow.
Yeah, well, the more you awake you become, the more challenging it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I think we're this time, and I'm going to be speaking about this a lot, about the new age of Aquarius. And I'm going to go back um, 18 million years back in the history of humanity. When we're on the retreat in Bulgaria, I'm going to take people on a story through the ages, the real esoteric, the esoteric history of humanity, not what the history books is telling us, but the whole development of humankind is planned in stages. And I'll map it out and I'll show it according to occult sources. And for the future of Aquarius, the tasks are very different than the age of Pisces. That we have to go through the lessons. And Aquarius is the sign of realization and incredible intelligence and control over the mind, because Aquarius rules the brain and the mind and the thoughts we let in. And that's exactly the task we have for the next 3,000 years. The age of Aquarius is actually 3,100 years, because Aquarius is a bigger constellation than others. We're just starting it. So that by the end of this, and of course, there are many people that are way into that path already, people that are doing that, that are working with affirmations, that are watching their thoughts, that are learning how to control their thought, that are learning what to put and allow into their mind and what not. This is Aquarius tools for spiritual development. When in the Pisces ages, I'll talk about that in the retreat in Bulgaria in August. It was there's still places if you want to come. By the way, Zori, is that picture?
Yeah.
This is a place where
that's Central Bulgarian. That's Central Bulgaria, the city of Karlovo.
Yeah, we'll be in a similar place, by the way. We're mostly in nature during the day. We're mostly in waterfalls, in sacred places. We're walking and lectures 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. So there's still time, but the age of Aquarius that we started, that we're on the second wave of the age of Aquarius, it comes in waves always. That is the ultimate thing, to be a guardian of our thoughts, and and of course that affects our feelings and our subconscious, but it comes through here.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it also probably means the other extreme of merging AI with your brain, which is,
yes, that
it's going to go in parallel, as you've said a few times as well.
We cannot stop it. It's been that it will happen, but it won't happen for everyone. People will have free choices always. Some will choose really to merge their physical body with, with the system. There are some things that cannot be avoided. And as you see, there is a, I, I'll be talking about the plan for the next 10,000 years, actually, because it's given in esoteric sources. What will happen? Not all the details, but the general outline is known by super big initiate masters. And for some, it's glorious, but it depends on their own efforts. For others, it turns into degeneration very seriously. And yeah, but that's another topic. But
and I'm going to be speaking about putting your efforts in the right place and doing it easily. Program your mind, create synchronicities, use your free will
in a positive way.
With the current in a positive way. So you're gonna get all the details of all my programs that are derived from the Silva method and the philosophy that I use to teach these programs. So I just wanted to mention something about the retreat. At the moment, you'll read news everywhere that if you're from outside of the EU, now you can travel to the EU with a vaccination passport, and if you've had the shot. You can also travel with a PCR test from anywhere, basically. So do check the page of the Bulgarian embassy in your country to check the rules, but these are the general rules at the moment, just so you know.
Yeah, Bulgaria can enter freely, no problem. If you have a PCR test, there are spit PCR tests as well, which I prefer rather than the ones that go inside, So, and they can be, especially in the USA, I don't know other countries, but I'm also traveling in July there. So it's very open now. Nightlife is open. Everything is open. There are no mask mandates unless you enter a shop. So everything is quite free there. Absolutely free, actually. Their nightclubs are working with no masks, which is the ridiculous thing.
Yeah, everything is open. I can testify. I'm here at the moment in Bulgaria, and it's all open, and it's like the old beautiful world.
For a little bit. They'll put back the restrictions later on in the winter, in the autumn. We know that now. So, but anyway, thank you so much, Zori. If you want to check out Zori's programs, she always has discount for Astrolada viewers. She teaches Silva method, mind programming, and she's all in positive ways, never for selfish reasons or anything like that. And she has her workshop on intuition reset. You can check it out below or join us. We already have 15 people, I think. A lot of couples are coming this time.
Yes. And friends. You can get a couple's ticket for friends, for a family member or with a friend. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be in a spa place, so a lot of, you can get all the procedures you want. So thank you so much, Zori. Looking forward to speak to you again about some other fascinating topic like that. And have a lovely week ahead.
You too. Enjoy the energy of the eclipse.
Oh, yes, of course. And that's why we talked about mind programming, Aquarius rules belief.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you actually, maybe we should continue a little bit longer. What is the best energy to program people, or for people to be weary of such things?
Oh, okay. If you have 12 house transits, it's very easy to get programmed. Also, all the actually 12 house, third and ninth house transits or planets there, because these are, these are more 12 house is more subconscious, third house is your perceptions, ninth house is your beliefs. When those houses get activated or they're rulers by transits, or when you have transits to the moon, or when you have Neptune transits as well. Neptune, all those are very psychic places, very easy to program. So you're much more susceptible to your subconscious impulses, to your subconscious desires, not being aware where it's coming from. When there's transits to your moon, like Neptune transit moon, or other big transits to your 12th house in particular, third and ninth. With third and ninth, you can be more aware. And you can program yourself more easily when, and people who have strong planets in the first house, the 10th, for example, angular planets, they're hard to program because they're kind of very, how do I say, or people with a lot of fixed signs, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus, they're harder to program because fixity does not, perceive so easy. While the cardinal signs, and especially the mutable signs people like Pisces, Sagittarius, Gemini, and Virgo, they have to be a bit more cautious if they have planets there, because it's easier to influence. They adapt more easily. Or if your mutable houses are being triggered, which is, as I said, the 12th, 6th, 9th, and 3rd, again, it's more easily to get programmed. And again, if you want to positively program yourself with any methods as well, or during Neptune transits as well. Neptune is the one that opens the door to shift in your subconscious as well. So that's
so is this
yeah.
Is this eclipse then good for programming people?
Yes, because it's in Sagittarius, it's in the sign of beliefs, and it's an eclipse about releasing and letting go of old beliefs. But it removes barriers towards instilling beliefs. So the evil forces can use that to program people, but the good forces and conscious people can use it the opposite, can use it to actually, it's more of eclipse where you let go of old beliefs, so a lot of truths can come out, and lies that was started before, people can become clear about them and can figure out something about the truth in regards now, because Sagittarius rules the truth as well. And it's an eclipse, it's full moon eclipse, which means something comes to fruition, something comes to full light. So about certain truths, like truth bombs are coming and falling around us right now, which probably, I don't know, if you're not on mainstream media, even on mainstream media, you're starting to see such things. So
yeah
I'm not going to go into details, but people can see, or they can be truths for your personal life, like eureka moments, especially something that you've been struggling with as a belief system, especially a belief system that's been dragging you down or has been, depriving you from something. Now you can have like a powerful realization what this belief system and pattern is, that and you can switch it off. You can just let it go suddenly. So, and belief systems is the biggest reason of how we act. It first starts as a belief system, even if it's a subconscious belief system. But your worldview, the Sagittarius rules your worldview, how you perceive reality, how you interpret reality around you. So there is a big deconstruction happening now and coming out of truths about that currently. So interesting energy. Good time to talk about such things. It's deprogramming, because we've all been programmed in some way by governments, by media, but by our experiences in life, by ourselves with negative self-talk. And now is big deprogramming period for beliefs for the next 2-3, for the next, I would say, the whole 6 months, because there's another eclipse in Sagittarius after that. So this whole year till the end, this whole year from the beginning, and now with a peak now and a peak at the end of the year, is a period for deprogramming from false beliefs, or beliefs that have outlived their truth for you, and deprogramming yourself from unconscious belief. And on that note, we can end.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Lada.
Joining us.
You too.
See you soon again. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.